Hey everyone, Shane here with RVs of America, or ROA Off-Road. I'm super excited to bring a full tour on this brand new OBI, that's Outback Innovations Dweller 15. Are you ready? Let's get into it. First of all, I do want to talk a little bit about the manufacturing company. OBI is an American-owned company. It started here in the United States. One of the owners is native in Arizona, a background in construction, retired actually, and then decided to come out of retirement because he thought there could be better made campers, RVs or caravans in the United States. He synced up with another gentleman who actually did his degree in the University of Indiana. Of course, back being in Indiana, if you don't know, that's RV Mecca for America. That's where pretty much 90% of all RVs are made. But he said he's been to most of the manufacturers there and he wasn't impressed. So he actually, for about the last 10 years, has been helping with manufacturing off-road campers and caravans in the Australian market. So he has a lot of experience in manufacturing, and as he gained all that experience with the Australian market, he realized there was a huge opportunity in the United States to bring campers here. This is an American born, they dreamed this camper up here in the United States. So it's not this, you can't get this camper anywhere else in the world. We've seen a lot of people trying to enter into the US from Australia, and they're calling it, Australian design, but they're bringing it to the US. It's not a complete product for the US. The doors are still on backward. There's still some electrical issues that are Australian. This unit is made for Americans from the ground up. There's not these weird little kinks in it that are kind of Australian, I guess modified for American. This is from the ground up, was designed with the intent and the purpose for Americans. But the innovations, the concepts of it are very much more Australian because of the owner, right? He was inspired by the Australians. Okay, now that we know a little bit about OBI and the Dweller, I want to talk a little bit about who we are at RVs of America. We're going on 14 years of being in business. We started out with, just good old-fashioned campers. We realized that the American-made campers were pretty poor quality, so we evolved from cheap campers to nicer campers to higher end fifth wheels, all the way up to motor coaches, diesel pushers, luxury highline motor coaches. You're talking, $500 to $1 million, $1.5 million motor coaches. Then we realized, at our core, these campers were beautiful, these motor coaches were beautiful, but they weren't who we were. Because, we would sell these beautiful high-end luxury motor coaches, and then we realized that on the weekends we were out camping, running off-road, going down to Moab, and we said, we started talking, we need to start building our own off-road campers. Instead of building, we started researching, and we found out that, Australia and Africa, and they had some really, really good off-road products. Now, you do know ROA, we are actually in the works of designing and building some of our own exclusive trailers now, but we also are on this constant pursuit of finding the best off-road products in the world. And so that's why we're so excited about carrying this new product and the best companies that will provide good service, good warranty, and will stand behind their products and build a good quality product. So that's what ROA is all about. At RVs of America, though, it's not just about buying a camper. We don't believe in just transactions. We believe that it has to be an experience. Nobody has to buy a camper. Nobody needs this camper. People come and get a camper because they want it, because they want to have an experience. So here at ROA, we've started calling our customers roamers, and we started playing with this idea of like, hey, we should do roamer adventures. We should do roamer rallies. And then we started doing this and it really picked up. And when you come and work with ROA, it's not just about a trailer, it's also about an experience. It's becoming, part of the community, the roamer community, where you can go on roamer adventures, you can go to roamer rallies. And the only way you are part of that community is by working on getting a camper through ROA. We're headed out to Baja. Actually, in this trailer, this exact trailer, I'm gonna be taking it down there, put about 2,000 miles on it, camping it for for almost 2 weeks. I've already camped in it for a while, been using it, very impressed. So let's get into this tour and show it off so you can understand a little bit about it, see how it all works, how it's put together, and how it functions. Okay, so we actually are up in the BLM lands, so we're out camping for free, completely off grid. The sun is setting, as you can tell, and we want to set up camp. We're losing sunlight, so we decided we're going to set it up. We'll show you a little bit of how it gets set up, probably cook some dinner, have a fire, and then we'll start with this full walk around tour first thing in the morning. Good morning. Whew, it got cold last night, ended up raining. We even had some snow. We're in the South Desert in Utah, and this time of year, you never know what to expect. To start this tour, I first want to go over a few of the specs on this camper, and then we'll go up front and we'll start with the fridge and work our way all the way around the trailer. To start with, this is the Dweller 15 or the D15. And that measurement is actually the box. The box is about 15 foot and 11 inches to be exact. Total overall length of the trailer from the tongue all the way back to the rear tires in transit is 22 feet total length. Now, the box inside feels a lot bigger because, as you can see, there is a slide out in the back area, which allows for a king size bed on the inside, which we'll get to in a bit and show you that. That space, when it expands, it feels like you're almost in a 20-foot trailer, which is really nice. The overall height while in transit, that's with the top down, is 8 foot 3 inches. So if you want to park it in a garage, you're going to need at least a 9 foot or 8.5 foot garage door opening to be able to park it inside. Once it pops up, this pop-up comes up about 20 inches from the main wall, and that inside, once it's open, allows from floor to ceiling about 6 foot 7 inches. There's some lights at the lowest point inside. You're about 6'6". Lots and lots of space if you're very, very tall inside this trailer. Plus, with the king size bed, you're going to be very happy if you're on the taller side. Now, the water tanks, we have a total of 52 gallons of water. We have a 21-gallon gray tank. Of course, lots of the water is out here, so it's gravity. It goes onto the ground outside if you're washing your hands and doing dishes, so you're not putting all of that water into the gray tank, and that's why it doesn't need to be as large. And then the toilet system is a cassette toilet, which I'm going to go into a lot more detail on that as we get to the other side, and when we're inside, we're going to show you how those operate and the benefits of them. That, for the most part, are the main specs. Let's start up front and go with the fridge right over here. Coming over here, we have these nice luggage latches. These we are pretty familiar with because, as I mentioned earlier, we used to sell $1 million motor coaches, and these are the most common latches you'll see on these. Really heavy duty hinges. The details are so important in this camper, and that's what I want to point out. Little rubber stoppers, so when this door comes down, it actually hits these rubber stoppers. You'd be surprised how so many manufacturers don't think about this stuff, and the doors will just come down and hit and scratch over time. This is really nice that they've done that. A vent right here, because there's a refrigerator in here. You want it ventilated. Another issue that we see all the time is when you do have a vent like this, you get dirt inside. But as you can see, they have a nice filter here that's encased in this little box. Very good quality too. And now here is our fridge. One of the things I want to mention is there's a light, and it has a nice little sensor, so when you open it up, it automatically turns on the light. This tray, you come out, you press this lever, and it slides on out. This is the Iceco fridge. It comes stock. It's a 90 liter, very large. You can pack a good week's worth of food in this thing as long as you're smart. But these trays, the tracks, just the precision of how this is built, it feels so good. Right here we have a bottle opener, so if you you like to drink, you got some easy access to a bottle opener right there. One of the cool features about this fridge is, yeah, actually I do feel like a drink. No, actually I don't. I'm gonna go up and work on my truck for a second. Actually, I changed my mind. I do want a drink. Look at this. What? It opens both ways. Pretty cool little feature. I've never seen this on a fridge before. I mean, I actually use it quite frequently. As I'm just up here hooking up the truck, I'm like, oh, I want a water. And I just, pull down here, pull out a water, right? It's just it's so simple and such a silly concept, but actually very useful. Coming inside here, as you can see, we have our 12 volt, and this is the cigarette lighter style for power to the fridge. There is also Anderson plug here, so you can get the Anderson style, and these tend to hold up really, really well. I mean, I've been using this, I don't have it set up, and it works very, very nicely. You also have a fan in here that you can engage and turn on. If you're somewhere really hot, that will just help with the fridge, create some cross ventilation and keep it nice and cool in here. The fridge will work a lot better. Kind of hard to see from here, but if you can look down inside, I want to point out inside of here, you can see the bolts and the washers. You might ask, well, obviously, you would be surprised how many trailers we see that, they'll put bolts and no washers. Just the attention to detail. Everything feels so straight. All of the components, the screws. I'll point out some more screws later. I guarantee you they're not doing this without some sort of tools and equipment, because it's too consistently straight and perfect for it to be done by a human all the time consistently. I really, really am impressed with this camper. I want to point out, just very detailed. This video tour is going to be the most detailed we've ever done. And the reason why is because I feel so comfortable. I mean, I feel like I'm always comfortable about pointing good and bad out on every trailer. But this caulking, this sealant that they've put on, they've used a tool. There's no way that they've done this without a tool. This is done so good. Just look at the lines, the edges on this. I've seen so many campers over the year. I've never seen caulking and the sealant done so well on any trailer. I mean, I have some guys in my shop that can do it this good, but they use tools, like I said. The precision, the preciseness, the lines are so good. I've seen other trailers where it looks like a drunken sailor had done this and they've used no tool. It's just sloppy and as fast as they can. And it's everyone on this whole trailer that I'm looking at just looks so good. Okay, let's head to the main entry door. Believe it or not, I got a lot of things to say about this door. I'm very familiar. It's an Aussie Traveler. This has the polycarbonate window here. It has an incredible screen door. It's a security, really cool locking mechanism, metal latch, which you don't see that often, and a vent cover here. Now, first I want to mention a few things, and I mentioned this earlier about, people bringing things over from Australia and things being wrong, right? Like, because everything over there, they're on the left-hand side versus in the US, we're on the right-hand side. So everything is mirrored. Some people are using these doors, but they're using the Australian mirrored doors. So they did move the door to the right side for the US, but they didn't actually mirror the door properly. So when you're driving down the freeway, as you can imagine, if the door ever did get unlatched and this door flew open, most of the trailers you're gonna see, they're gonna fly open this way and be smacking, and it's just dangerous, right? The neat thing about the US, if you've ever seen, if the wind is hitting it, it's gonna push it shut. Every trailer in America, that's how they're designed. The doors are designed to be able to, if they did open, the wind most likely is gonna push them shut. Very important little detail that you're not seeing in some of the stuff that's getting imported to the US. Okay, so this is the ATRV tri-locking latch mechanism. This is your door handle lock. We'll have a detailed video for our roamers on how to operate this. But what I do like about this door is it opens up this way, right? And then it shuts towards the front. What's important to mention about it is it actually has 3 latching mechanisms. First, you have this one, right? Obviously, that latches in, but you also have 2 more. Now down here, you have one at the bottom, and if you press forward, you can see how that engages, and then it comes out, and the same for the top. And that's why it's the the 3 latching mechanism. And what's important about that is when you're dealing with an off-road camper, here in the US, lots of people claim they build an off-road camper and all they do is put big tires on it, they use the same latches. But whenever there's tweaking and the doors, if you have a single little latch, could potentially pop open, right? You know, you put the deadbolt in and hopefully not. But with this door, there's no way that this door is ever gonna pop open when you latch these. It's also very secure. Now, the last thing I wanna talk about this door is the screen. Well, a few more things I wanna talk about this door, but the screen is one of them. This unlatches and you have a security screen door. And this is super strong and sturdy, good for dogs. You do have the little mesh screen in the inside, and on the outside, it's very strong aluminum. And I don't think you're gonna get intruders. What's cool is this latching mechanism is actually on the screen door portion. So when you do shut it, you can't actually, see if you had this open, you could see that this would bend, or up here, you could see that bending. But once you latch it, it doesn't move at all, right? So very strong, very robust door system. Now moving down here, as silly as it is, we have dealt with a lot of imported trailers coming from Australia, and they have a vent in this Australian traveler door, and they just leave this vent open. So on a cold winter day, freezing air is coming in here, heat's coming in here. When you're driving off-roading, you know, you get dirt flying in here. Nice little detail the Dweller has done is putting on this little guy and keeping your trailer warmer, cooler, and cleaner. Super happy about that. Lastly, we have this latch, this metal latch. The Aussie Traveler door has this dinky little thing that pops up. Some of them will put another latch on the other side of this to hold the door open, but the Dweller has used a much nicer latch down here, and I'll show you. So you can come around, and this little guy sticks in right there and is secured while you're traveling. And when you want to open your door, it goes right there, and that holds the door open. Last but not least, this may seem ridiculous to you, because it is ridiculous to me. Some of the trailers we've imported have been squared, right? The doors are square and they have a sharp edge. And we've had to start installing a little wheel grommet, because when the awning comes out, you could potentially cut your awning. As you can see, this door is rounded. So even if you did, as a user error, bring your awning out and potentially hit the door, or wind came down, it wouldn't hit the door and rip the awning. Very nice feature. Another cool thing is you can watch the awning come out and it actually doesn't hit the door, because they've installed the awning high enough where it doesn't actually interfere with this door. This may seem like, well, obviously, but we see so often in the industry, the US, even the Australian industry, where they don't actually think these things through. It's a small detail, but it's frustrating for the owner because you're just dealing with these types of things. Not so bad. It's gonna come out, give us some shade, and let's move on over to our bar counter, where we can have some kitchen prep and food prep. Oh, and I want to mention these stairs. These are electric stair, which is nice and convenient for you to close those up when you're traveling, or open them up when you get to wherever you're going. We also have this handle for entry, and it does have a little blue light for night. Moving over to the bar area, we've seen these, and a lot of times it's just a tray that drops down and you have some extra space for your kitchen. This guy opens up and has some storage space. You have space for a television. This is a mount. This is the same mount as the mount inside, and you can take that TV and you can bring it out and mount it here. You have hookups for your cable. You also have USB ports out here, so if you want to charge phones or miscellaneous electronics, you have that. You can also just leave things stored in here. I got my little lighter, I got some latches, some tape. This is for decoration. Got some cups. Really cool little convenient, you know, prep area. And if you have your kitchen stuff in there and somebody's inside, they can open up. That's the big counters on the inside. You can open that up and hand things through and set things on the tray right here as you get ready to prep for your food. This is your outside kitchen. Once again, same luggage latches you'll see on very high-end motor coaches. Bar right here, you just press and it slides out, locks in place so it doesn't actually move back in. There's another latch over here, and then we open this up. We have our stove This is a Dometic stove. I've been cooking on it very nicely. This one has a lot of power. I fried eggs. I had to turn it down a little bit because the eggs were cooking too fast. We have our nice little sink here. It is hot and cold. And as you can see, our hookups are here and here. And this is our gas hookup. Here is our water, hot and cold hookup. Very nice. I've dealt with these outside kitchens and sometimes everything's stuffed underneath and it's hard to access. These are really, really easy to access. Look how easy they go, and these quick connects just slide right in perfectly. Just like that, and you're done. We have our cutlery drawer for cooking, forks, spoons, spatulas. We got some of our dirty spatulas inside and need to clean up. This is a nice little salt shaker spot that I've been using to have salt and pepper. All stainless steel. This whole kitchen set's made by Dometic. Down under here we have another bottle opener. I mentioned earlier how they keep these screws perfectly straight going in. You'd be surprised. I see like every other screw, one going at an angle, one going straight. They've done a really good job in making these all just very precise and straight. Close this up. The last things I want to mention on this side, I do want to talk a little bit about the paint and some of the construction materials, but I want to point out we have some outside speakers, outside lights. You have a light here, you have one by the kitchen for nighttime. You have this awning, nice long awning that goes almost the entire length of the body of the trailer. These screws are welded in, so these brackets are going to be permanent, which is really nice. They can't unloosen over time with vibrations. Now, talking a little bit about some of the construction material, we have the diamond plate. This is the European diamond plating. It's an aluminum diamond plating. The entire construction of this camper is it is welded aluminum, so there's no stick frame, no wood going on in this trailer. Then we have aluminum composites for the inside and outside as far as construction material. It is all painted and it has a gloss finish paint clear coat. That's something that they pride themselves in. They have these automotive booths at the manufacturing plant where they actually take these in and they paint them. Painting in trailers is such a hit and miss thing. So many campers and manufacturers don't do a good job at painting, and their trailers just start to fade after years. They're very proud of their automotive grade paint that they do on these campers. Okay, this is in the setup position. I'll show you later on how to put this down and set it up, and I'll show you the rear tire mount. But I just want to move back here. This is the back of the bed, and talk a little bit about the windows. These windows are a Eurovision. It's a polycarbonate dual pane window. I really like these windows. These are very strong. The resistance of breaking and shattering is a lot stronger than glass. So a lot of people ask, oh, why do you got polycarbonate or plastic windows? The reality is these windows are much, much stronger than glass. And for the off-road nature and durability, they're gonna last a lot longer in that sense. Okay, over onto the driver's side, this is our shore power hookup. It's a 50 amp. This is your Truma exhaust for your water heater and your furnace. I'm going to talk more about the appliances and the specs of the camper when we get inside. I'm going to go over the battery systems, the solar system, the solar charge controllers, and all of the appliances that we use. They are very high-end, very quality products, and I'm going to get into that towards the end of the video. So outside, I'm just going to focus on what we can see. You have these stabilizer jacks, all four, all the way around the trailer. You have those. Those are not jacks to lift or level. They're just to stabilize and make it so it's not rocky. Down here we have a D-ring recovery hook here, so if you ever did need to pull somebody out or pull yourself out, that's a nice convenient thing to have. Mud flaps, and you don't just have these in the back of the tires, you also have them in the front, so you don't get a lot of rock kick up onto the undercarriage of the trailer. Coming over to here, as silly as it may sound, we got a city water connection. It's a nice convenient thing if you are at a campground and you want to use that, where you can shower and wash your hands and utilize all your water all you want. That is a nice option. A lot of Australian trailers do not do city water connections. Over here we have our water tanks, and over here we have an outside shower. Really cool. We'll set it up and show you. And it zips up right where this shower is. You also have a light, so if you want to shower at night. We're going to be going to Baja, and we're bringing an extra person, and we'd rather him not shower inside. We're going to set up the shower outside for him, and he can shower out on the beach in privacy, outside with hot water. Really cool little system. and nice and convenient for guests if you don't want them in your shower. Okay, and here's the cassette toilet. Open it up, and if you really don't want people to steal your crap, you got a lock there. Let's move up to these storage compartments. They're my favorite part. There's a lot of storage on this unit. As I get inside later on, I'm gonna show you there's tons of storage. I almost feel like more storage than you'll ever need, but this is some of the outside storage. We have this little ladder. You'll need this little step stool ladder for setup and the roof operation. You have the shower enclosure here. I don't have this super organized, but it is very spacious. There's a lot of room in here. You could put in shelves or bins and just get creative with your space in here. And you also have this light sensor, so all of these compartments do have lights for nighttime use, and they're all lockable. Now this compartment right here is my favorite. It's my man cave compartment. Here we have these nice little bins that slide out on these trays, I should say. They're all metal, aluminum. And now you never want to leave without your ARB recovery equipment, your Smittybilt air pump. I got cleaning wipes, I got extra toilet things, I got more cleaning stuff, I got towels for working, and I could put way more stuff in this. Just wanted to kind of show you some of the stuff that I always bring with me, and they lock with these latches. Here's another one, and once again, you do have light in here. It's hard to see during the day, but you do have light, so you can get in here and use stuff. This is my tool drawer. I got all my drills, my bits, my sockets, tons and tons of space. And these drawers really, they slide all the way out and go in and lock. Good quality too. Anyway, this is one of my favorite areas of the trailer where I can put all my stuff and be able to always feel secure and happy that I'm safe with all my gear. And you can see all of the compartment doors have these sills, and also the track. If the water does get in, it's gonna flow down and out of the area. You know, and the reason why I mention this is I've seen some trailers where they have hinges right here, and so the water can flow down and get into the compartments. That's not gonna happen as easily with this type of setup. Up here, you have another toolbox and an area where you can put whatever miscellaneous stuff you may need. You also have our propane tank holders. There's one over here, one right here. We have the 20 pounders in them right now. The nice thing about this is because it's not inside a box or covered, you can put the 30 pounders if you wanted to, so there is space to do that. Now the storage box, I want to open this up and show this, and every single one of these boxes on this trailer are lockable. Has some nice gas struts to assist in the lift. I mean, I have most of my wheel chocks, my hoses for my water up here, miscellaneous gear. I have my power cords. I got firewood right now. I got fire roasting sticks, whatever you need, extra gear. There's some clips up here where you can actually strap things down if you needed to. Nice extra little storage space on this box, and it is also sealed and has a nice lip all the way around, so you're not going to get water coming into it very easily, especially in rain. And we close this up, and I wanted to point out these mud flaps down here. Don't see that as common in trailers in the front area, but it is nice because it does prevent from rock chips flying up and damaging your undercarriage. Okay, moving up into the tongue area, there's a bunch of stuff going on here, but it's all pretty simple. We got our level bubbles right here. We have a nice little water spigot out here if you need fill up a bucket or something. I think this is the best hitch in the world. This is the Mick hitch. I know there's other hitches out there like the D15, the Cruise Master hitches. I personally think this is the best. The Polyblock is the worst hitch. I would probably prefer a ball hitch over the Polyblock. Now, I know there are some people that rave about the Cruise Masters, but I don't think they have any experience with the Mick hitch. And we have experience with all of the hitches across the line, and I think this is the easiest one to hook up. Pretty robust and cool. Moving over to here, we have the brake, and this is a Australian design Cruise Master brake. Over here we have our recovery chains, and these are D-rings, which are the strongest you can use, and you also have a nice little spot to hook on there when you're putting it in storage, so it's not just hanging on the ground. These chains are super thick and robust. I don't think you'll ever have problems. Okay, last thing I want to show you up here is the Arc jockey wheel. This is an Australian company. I do like this company. This is the 750 series, which is the strongest one that they have. If you were to ever need to recover and tow your trailer around, what you would do is you would grab this and pull this out, and this drops down, and then you get this guy right here. You don't extend it too much if you were in a recovery situation, just past the little pin so that this wheel can move and you could push around. This trailer is a lot lighter than most trailers. We've dealt with these trailers, and the manufacturers were putting the 750 series on a 7,000 pound trailer, and once you load it up, you were easily 8,000 pounds, which is outrageous for this system. On a trailer this size, this is about the max size that you would want this on a trailer, is probably a 5,000, 6,000 pound trailer. It works fine. And this trailer is very well balanced too. The tongue hitch is not too heavy, and this works very well. I don't feel like it's getting overstressed or anything. Here, this is the cool little hitch, and it just has so much adjustment capability to go up and down right through this, and also through the tongue jack. And we also have some feet that we can put on here that give it more stability if you don't want the wheel rolling around. Okay, we're gonna put this away to kind of show you how to do that. It's really easy. And then we're gonna go over the tires. I wanna show the tires and talk about that. And then we wanna go underneath the trailer to talk about the suspension and the undercarriage, because the suspension is probably one of the most important things when it comes to a good off-road camper or trailer. If you don't have the right suspension, it's just washboard roads, everything gets destroyed. The longevity of the trailer does not last as long. So let's put this away, and then I'll go under there and show you. Like I said, it's good to have a step stool if you're short. I can reach pretty easily. This comes out. And one of the nice things that I want to mention about this does have some gas assisted struts. Drops on down, nice and easy. And then this lifts up. That latches in right there. Latches in right here. Now this is the only part that you could consider maybe a little tricky, and it might be easier with two people because somebody can hold this, but it's very light, it's aluminum, so I just kind of rest it on my head right there. And with this hand, grab there, and this pulls, turns, and goes right there. And then you let this go down. That latches. Come around right here. This latches. And the tire has these gas struts, so it's assisted. Okay, let's talk about the tires, the rims, and the brakes. We have an aluminum alloy rim. We also have the studs, much stronger than the rubber ones. That's typically what we're seeing on most trailers. The tire is a 265/75 R16 tire. The brakes on them are electric drum 12-inch brakes, more than sufficient for this size of trailer. The weight and everything, the max load rating, over 3,400 pounds per tire. You add that together, you're close to 7,000 pounds on the tire. It's really important, and people don't always know this, or they take it for granted, but a lot of manufacturers, they put the very bare minimum rated. You want a load range E tire on a trailer this size for sure, at least at minimum. Really happy that they've done the right weights for the tires for this trailer. Now let's head underneath the trailer. This is one of the most important parts of an off-road trailer. I believe that firmly. I have taken a lot of trailers off-road. I mean, I've actually just towed, honestly, over 100,000 miles, probably a couple 100,000 miles, and I've never towed any campers that tow as well as the Australian design suspension campers. And what does that mean? That means an A-arm, or an independent suspension control arm, gas shocks, and coil springs. It is without a doubt the most superior system, I believe, on the road with any campers. You see, even in the auto industry, most vehicles have independent suspension because the ride quality is just so much better than having a solid axle or leaf springs. You know, you get into old trucks that have solid axles and leaf springs, every bump you hit, it's just jarring you apart. And almost every trailer in America runs solid axles with leaf springs. It is an old system. As a matter of fact, I went to a car museum up in Fairbanks not too long ago, and I was looking at cars all the way from the early 1900s until the 1950s, and guess what they were running in 1920 to they were running leaf springs, and they look almost identical to what you still see on most campers made in America. And it's just an old way of doing things. The control arms, the gas shocks, the coils, it just allow for such a smoother ride. You know, you have that articulation moving up and down. So when I'm talking, even on-road, these things tow so much better. When you're talking off-road, when you're hitting a washboard, the last thing you want to do, if you have a solid axle, essentially both of your wheels are hitting at the same time, and it's just creating so much impact on your trailer. And it's not just like the suspension, but it's the interior, the cabinetry, the everything. You know, you're gonna have more strain on the entire structure of the entire trailer, right? These independent suspensions are without a doubt the most superior system for a trailer out on the market. There's different types, you know, you can go with airbags, you can go with gas or coil. These come stock with the 2 gas, total of 4 gas shocks, the springs, and then the control arm. Another nice thing that I really like about this that's different from other ones that we've seen is they do a limiting strap with this heavy duty nylon rope opposed to chains. You know, we've had a lot of issues with the chains when loosening themselves and just falling apart. You see these types of straps in like Baja trucks. I cannot emphasize the importance of this suspension when it comes to off-roading and off-road trailers. It is without a doubt, I believe, the best thing on the market. Moving on, under here, we do have our tanks. We have our water tanks, 2 freshwater tanks. You have your gray tank, and then remember your cassette. These do have body armor, aluminum diamond plating underneath for protection. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about the frame. This is a 2-inch by 6-inch rectangular hollow stud, hot dipped galvanized chassis. Now, if you don't know what hot dipped galvanization is, you can go on Google, you can Google it and read all about it. For those who want to know briefly, I'll kind of explain. If you've ever been, you know, driving down the freeway, all the freeway signs, all, you know, an old chain link fence, all of that is going to be hot dipped galvanized. I don't know that much about metallurgy. That's like not my study in college. Just doing some research on this, what it is. Steel will begin to corrode like the second it's forged, right? Within 50 years, to 50 to 80 years, it's turned back to dirt. It's iron, it's dirt. Why galvanized is so good, and you'll see this along the ocean, you'll see it on signage, everywhere, all over the place, especially next to water and salt. Galvanized in the harshest conditions will not start to break down or corrode until closer to 80 to 100 years. This is not gonna be breaking down by the time just bare bone steel is back to dirt. This barely starts to corrode and break down. So galvanized, without a doubt, is when it comes to frames, it's one of the best things. You can paint, you can coat it. This does have a coating on here, but this is not necessary. This is just cosmetics, you know, to make it look cooler, has kind of a nice black coating. But the reality is galvanized, you know, just like the freeway sign, it has a special look to it. It is kind of chrome looking, but that's what the whole chassis is. It's all hot dipped galvanized. I love that. I think that's very important. It is a little bit heavier than standard steel because it's a coating. It's also stronger. It doesn't just last longer, it's also stronger. Now let's move over to the plumbing and point out and talk a little bit about that. Everything under here looks really nice. It's easy to access. All the wiring, all the plumbing, everything is really nice and easy. They run everything through protection, and nothing's rubbing on the metal. Everything's put into plastic protection coating on the plumbing, on the wire lines, so you're not seeing bare wires rubbing on things, which is, well, that's code in the US, but I have seen some, they're shipping things over here and they're not doing this type of stuff. So it's really important that this is done, you know, according to American US standard and code. And they are approved by all the codes, the electrical and plumbing and gas codes in the United States. And that's very important. We do see where people are importing things and that stuff's not actually getting processed properly. And that's what the OBI company has done, because really it was the dream. It was dreamed up and born, you know, in the United States. They're American owners, and they've brought, you know, this awesome caravan, bringing it in to the US for us as US consumers. Welcome inside. This is a very nice trailer. The more time I spend inside, the more impressed I am. And that's pretty unique because a lot of times the more and more you look at a trailer, the more details you start to find lots of little imperfections. That's pretty common in the trailer industry. And the more and more I've been looking at this one, the more impressed I am. And I don't think we really have a trailer in this class, or that you can buy a trailer in America in this class, you know, this same size and style, that's as good as quality. I was just staring up at this piano hinge. It's just, all the screws are perfectly screwed in. As they've put this trailer together, all of the screws, wherever you can see mounted, they're precise. One of the things that's unique about this camper caravan is the storage. It has tons and tons and tons of storage. The components in it are very beautiful, very high end. I'll get into more of that in a bit. But let's start out this table area and just kind of show you what they got. They have this adjustable lagoon style table, which so you can move this table around. You could put your computer on it, eat for two here. As you can see, one person can squeeze in and move it over here. So this person could squeeze in and then you could move it in this direction for somebody else to squeeze in on this side. And then when you're both sitting, you can eat comfortably right here. It adjusts up, out, and tightens up in every direction. And then if you want to get up and if you want more space to walk around in the trailer, you can come out and you can actually adjust this unit in back into this area. Squeezes right into this area right here. And then you have lots of space to walk around, move around. This whole leg and whole table could come off. If you wanted, you could get this similar mounting bracket down here, and you can move it into another area outside or wherever. But this is a very, very cool table. You have these blinds, they're night and day shades all the way around. I'll show you some over by the bed in a little bit, but these are really nice. They give you that privacy, and they actually have a sun reflective material on the other side. And then there's a screen, and so you don't get bugs or mosquitoes in at night if you want to open up the windows. One of the nice things about this area is you do have a bunk bed. As you can see, these holes, they actually are a ladder, and you also have some on the other side so you can get up two different ways. This can drop down and you can have a nice little bed. The length of the bed is 68 inches, about 25 inches wide. Definitely a small child to a teenager could sleep on this comfortably. You have all this canvas around the whole trailer. As you can see, there's zippers that open up for screens, so you can get a lot of cross breeze in here. Today it's been 80 degrees and we've been running the air conditioner all day long. And that just locks all the way up. You can go like that and it locks into the up position. Now I want to show you some of this area over here, the storage area. So we got our books here. Obviously you could put whatever you want. Some storage down there, and I have the towels rolled up underneath the actual seat and the cushion itself. A little bit of storage space that you could put some things, blankets or other various things. This leather, this is a faux leather. It's very comfortable, very plush. It has the diamond stitching, which gives a nice look to it. This bed is very comfortable. It measures a king size bed. It's in between a standard king and a California king. California kings, I think, are a little bit longer. This is more of the standard king, but it's the width almost of a California king. This is a very, very comfortable space. I love how you do have a back window and the nighttime shades to keep it nice and dark. You have these reading lights that you can turn on and off. Last night I was reading and these were really great. They gave me a lot of light onto my book. You have some charging ports here. You have your USB ports. There's two here, two over there, so you can charge two different devices. I'm charging my Bluetooth headphones, and I had my cell phone charged in here last night. Right here you also have a 12-volt cigarette lighter plug, so you could plug something else into this outlet. Same with the other side. You can see over here I actually have a refrigerator, an inside fridge plugged in, because this unit has the outside fridge as you saw, and I use that for an inside fridge. Over here you have the ports for the furnace. It's the Truma, and I'm gonna go into more detail at the very end of the tour. Now over here in these areas, you actually have some nice storage. This whole entire area, it's a molded fiberglass piece. This is really, really nice. It just has a very quality feel to it, but these storage compartments are very deep, as you can see, as I'm reaching my arm in. I have books, DVD in here. We got a giant book in here, lots of storage. It goes from all the way from over here to right here, and it goes in over elbow deep, so lots of nice storage on both sides here. Now you have the TV here, which is a cool little TV. It is a 12 volt, so it will work off of battery power. You do not need the inverter on and running. This TV actually has a mount where it actually can disconnect right here, and you can slide it out and unplug it here and go plug it in outside. This mount goes all the way in, and it has these straps. And now you may be thinking, yeah, so doesn't all trailer have straps? The answer is no. All trailers do not have straps for their TV. There was a trailer that we used to sell. The TV did not strap, and so it would just be flying all over the place. So people always had to add straps to their TV. And not every trailer is perfect, but it's really nice when the manufacturer gives you these nice little details. As I mentioned that the mattress is a king size bed, I did want to show you about 8 inches thick, and it is very, very comfortable. Trailers and RVs are notorious for horrible mattresses, and I am what you could call a mattress snob. I don't think I'm a snob, but I do like comfortable mattresses, and I slept on this mattress last night, and I slept really, really good, and I normally do not. You can ask my wife. This is a very, very comfortable mattress. I would not even put a foam topper on it, and I usually always recommend a foam topper on every mattress I ever sleep on in a trailer. And this one, I think you could go with the Stalk. Let's get over to this storage over here. You do have some hanging. Now it is shorter than a standard closet, so your shirts kind of don't hang straight down, but it is nice to have a spot to hang some shirts. It's not as deep as a standard closet either, so you have to get some smaller hangers. As you can see, I have 9 shirts hung up here. I could easily probably put 15 to 20 shirts in here. While we're standing right here and you got a good shot, let me show you these latches. I love these latches. We're pretty familiar with these latches. We've dealt with these in the past, and you know, this part right here is metal, and then you have a nice backer that actually locks. These are really nice hinges that open up all the way. You go to this, it locks in and it cannot open. And that's the key, especially if you're saying the trailer is off-road worthy, you have to have latches that lock. The most standard US latch you're gonna see is 90 cents or less, and they don't lock in place. Now coming down here, you have some extra storage, just a big open area. This is not a trash can storage that I usually use. I use a trash can over there, but I just threw some extra things in here. You could obviously get little containers or little cubbies and really organize this nicely. Below it, you have your 2 batteries. This unit actually has 3 batteries, but the other battery is just to the left of these 2 batteries in this other storage compartment. Now in here, we'll open up. Got some nice storage in here, pretty tall. As you can see, the wine glasses don't even need to lay down. Don't got a lot of stuff in here. I got all my cutlery and silverware over by the main door. There is some storage in here. This is a faux door, and I mean, it opens up like that, and you can put stuff in this area up here, have some extra storage. It's not a drawer. Now over here we have some more area for your wardrobe and your miscellaneous stuff. As you can see, I got some clothing in there. I got another one back here. So this is super deep. I got my socks, my gym shorts, pajamas. Over here we have a little refrigerator, an extra fridge inside, and you could put miscellaneous other stuff in here, whatever you want. Down here I have a nice, I call this my miscellaneous drawer. I got my journal, got my weekly planner, I got lights and flashlights and wallets and knives, you know, for those robbers in the night. Well, actually I got other stuff for them, but you know, it's just a nice little utility drawer. And then you got a nice little another drawer right here where I put my pants and shorts. Right now I'm just out with Jordan, my camera guy, and we're just stuffing it full with our own stuff. There's another drawer right here that you could put some, the manuals are in here right now, but you could put other stuff in there. There's also a ton of storage behind us over here. It's really, really incredible how much storage this trailer has. I actually think it's like more storage than you'll ever need, but let's keep on moving over into the kitchen and show you what we got over here. You can utilize this space in here any way you want. I'm using it as an extra kitchen. I got my little teapot or coffee pot. It's plugged in. You can run it off of the inverter so you can go off grid. I also have a grill inside where I can cook if it's an early morning and I'm not wanting to use my battery. I can always cook my eggs in here. I can, you know, have my pot and have some morning tea tea, your coffee, whatever you do. Up here, I got my granola bars, I got some water, I got, like I said, my wife loves tea, so we always end up having tea. You know, when you're in transit, we have a container and a bin where we put everything together and put it down on the floor when you get to wherever you're going, because obviously this roof is collapsed to right about here. When this lifts up to campsite, we just put all of our stuff up here so we can access it quickly and eat and enjoy our camping. Nice little function over here. Lots and lots of counter space. Down over underneath here, we have more storage. We have a little trash can, as you can see, and it fits perfectly in here. And it's a 5-gallon. Comes stock with the trailer. If you want to buy them, you can let us know when you put in an order or buy the trailer, and we can order all of these things for you. I have my little trash bags there. Lots of storage in this compartment. You also have a good amount of storage down here where you can put some miscellaneous goods. This is an access panel that gets to your wiring and all of your gauges, just access for maintenance or service. And then it locks in, everything locks, the latches hold everything. Coming into the front area of the trailer, we have the main door right here, which is a really cool Aussie Traveler door. Up into this area, you have more counter space. Like I said, this thing has tons and tons of counter space. If you wanted to do the kitchen and utilize it over here or over there, you could do either one. As you can see, there is an outlet over here, so you could plug in your teapot, you could plug in whatever you wanted, miscellaneous stuff over here, blenders. It's very versatile. This could be your kitchen area. Since your fridge is outside and your main stove is outside, you could make this into more of your kitchen where you put food. As you can see into this one, I've done a lot of that right here. If you move down another layer, this little drawer down here, we got some pans. I do have some pans on the stove right now, as you saw, but you could put more pots in here. I use this as a laundry hamper. This guy is a little storage container that I have shoes, extra shoes in. There's lots and lots of space, as you can see in this unit, to kind of really make it the way you want it. And there's still even more space above here. If you wanted a larger hamper, you got a different type of container, or you wanted a bigger container for shoes. This thing right here, it is absolutely huge. I have a suitcase over here. This is a actual carry-on suitcase. I have a backpack. I have a large duffel bag underneath the backpack, and then we have these bins. This one is empty, there's nothing in it. Nevertheless, lots and lots of space. You have some space up here, and this goes back pretty far. As you can see, tons and tons of storage. I'm really impressed with the amount of storage that we have inside this trailer. Now, before I move into the bathroom next, I want to show you this window. Let's head on into the bathroom. We love bathrooms, ladies, right? Not me. I mean, ladies, you love the bathrooms, right? So I think one of the main reasons that we buy a trailer is for a comfortable bed, which we have. But now let's check out this bathroom, because that right there is sometimes a deal killer for a lot of people. And I think this is a very nice bathroom. So let's head on into the bathroom. I've been sitting here contemplating life and this bathroom, and I understand that the bathroom is a large part of life. I don't know what the actual percentage of the amount of time that we spend on the toilet, in the shower, etc., but I think it's probably a long time. So you definitely want to be comfortable. I will tell you, this toilet is very comfortable. I have nothing against this toilet. This is a cassette toilet. If you don't know what that is, it's not as common in the United States. I think the United States is starting to adapt it more. If you get into the Africa, Australian, European market, cassettes are very popular. And I'll tell you why. They are very nice. And the different various campers we've had, I've used a lot of them, and I prefer a cassette toilet. I love these cassette toilets. They are so convenient, so easy. There's a cartridge on the outside that I showed you earlier, and it just pops out. It's so easy to use. You know, you can dump it anywhere. You don't have to stand in line. You can pull it out, throw it in the back of your truck, and go and dump it anywhere. You can, it's just, they're so convenient. You don't have to move your trailer right? If you're out staying out for a week off grid, you don't have to grab your trailer, hook it up and drag it into town to dump it. You can grab this and just drive it down the street. I've had enough toilet talk. Let's talk about the rest of this bathroom. Very, very comfortable. This is a large bathroom. Nice shower right here. You have a little soap dish too. The shower does adjust up and down for extremely short people to medium-sized people. Now, most trailers that we've had that do have a pop-up, that's it. That's your option. Short people, medium-sized people. Well, what about tall people? I'm 6 feet, and I know there's a lot of taller people out there, like 6'3", 6'4", 6'6". Check this out. Little hookup here on the roof, and you can adjust this. Now look at this. Now you're looking at, 6'6", comfortably showering in here. You have a nice vent. This is a two-way, so this will actually bring air into the trailer, or you can have the vent go out, which is very nice. If you have it coming in, it blows on you, feels nice and cool. You have a light here. We could also upgrade. I know on some of our old trailers, the vent was like this big, so we would always upgrade this one. This one is about that big. It's not as good as a Fantastic Vent fan, but it is way nicer and it does it two ways. So this is an upgrade for sure from the most standard trailers. Of course, we can always make things even better. Moving over into the sink area, one of the things that I just got to mention about this entire shower is this is all a molded fiberglass shower. Like the whole thing, all the walls, all of this going around, it's all molded. This is flowing. The actual shower pan flows very well. Lots of the trailers that we've had in the past, I'm not perfectly level at this campsite, and I showered a bit ago, and all the water flowed. Even though it wasn't level, there's enough slope to this pan that it actually all flowed down the drain, which is like, it shouldn't be something that blew my mind. It did. We added a nice little towel rack, so when you are just using the actual sink, you can use these. Obviously, you take it out when you take a shower. We added a nice little cup with toothbrushes and toothpaste. Here you have your sink, and this is very nice. You have a mirror, shaving or whatever you're gonna be doing. And like I said, it's all molded, one piece. Feels very good. It kind of feels like you're in a boat or a yacht. You have a little bit of a storage compartment in here, and we added this nice little toilet paper holder. You also have some nice storage in here. And also this lifts up and you have some storage down below, down the extra toilet paper down there. And this little rack does not come stock. This is another thing that we've added on to this trailer just for some of those extra conveniences. And there you go. Now the soap test. Everybody wants to know, when you're in the shower, if you drop a bar of soap, can you bend over and pick it up? Now I'm about 250 pounds, 6 feet. So if I can do it, a lot of people can do it. Here we go. Don't even hit my head. Bend down, pick it up. Easy peasy. Look at that. It's a success. We have officially showed you this inside of this trailer. I'm really impressed with it, really happy with the product. The bathroom, I believe, is a success. I'm very happy with this bathroom. I wanted to talk a little bit about the wood and the cabinetry. This is a UV pressed plywood, so it's not a honeycomb. It's not like a veneer. We've had lots of problems with honeycombs and veneers. It's going to be a little bit on the heavier side. Once again, durable is very important. Now moving from the cabinetry to some of the electrical components and the appliances. I want to talk about the electrical components and the appliances. To start, let's talk about some of these electronics and gauges over here by the door. Over here we have our stereo system. This also works as a DVD player, so it does play to the TV and you can run it through the speakers, which is nice. You have your awning. It's electric in and out. You have your step control. Right here you have your power to your fridge, your plugs. This is your battery disconnects, which will shut off the entire battery system. You have your water pumps, and that keeps them on running all the time. When I'm camped, I always leave it on. Right here you have your battery voltage system. This tells you what your current usage is. We're currently using 6.3 amps. We got most of the lights and everything on, so pulling a lot of power. We also got some stuff plugged in, and our voltage is at 3.5 volts, which is good. We're charging. Right here we have our tanks. I really like these. These have gauges just from full to empty, just like a fuel gauge. You have the two tanks, the front and the rear, and the gray tank. And then over here you have your switches, and this turns on your main lights. This turns on your little handlebar light on the outside, and then these are your outside lights. You have your back middle one is that one, and your driver's side is this one, hence it's on the driver's side, and this is your passenger. So it's nice. I have seen in the past where some of the light switches literally make no sense and people end up putting labels on them. These make a lot of sense. They're in the order that you would expect them to be. And then of course we have our little fire hydrant for safety, fire extinguisher, sorry. And then I have a little hook here where I put the keys. There seems to be a million keys, but it's really not complicated and they're all labeled. There's just a lot of duplicates and extras and spares. And I just have a little hook that I added right there to store away. These are things that, you know, here at our ROA Off-Road, we're all about upgrades and improving the product. So we can always add these things. It's not a matter of, can you do it? No, you have to do it on your own. We love to try to fulfill everything for people that they want, because this is a toy, it's a recreational vehicle. You don't need to buy this stuff. So everybody typically wants to add things to make it their own. And that's something at ROA Off-Road that we do that's unique from anybody else. We add things, we do upgrades, we do retrofits. Very different mentality here at ROA. So when you become a roamer, when you buy a camper from us, you're entering into a community of people and you get a lot of perks by being a roamer. Okay, so this is most of our components that we're gonna be talking about in the trailer. Now underneath the bed, I'll go through some stuff with you. This is your solar charge controller. That is a port that you could charge directly from the solar charge controller, little USB port. Now this you can actually go through and you can select different things. It is nighttime outside, and as you can see, we're getting 0.0 amps from the solar panels, which is what you want, just because it's nighttime. You can go through, it tells you your temperature and everything. You can select things, change some of your settings here. You can look at your voltage or your amperage. This is the Renogy Adventurer solar charge controller. It is a PWM and it works just fine. It's a good system. Now if you wanted to upgrade, the electrical system that you're running in here for the most part is pretty nice. This is the inverter system that you have. It's a pure sine wave. It's a Renogy. It's a 3000 peak and a 2000 continuous. It's a PCL series and it works really good. It's a click of a button and that turns it off. If you want to get power to your outlets, you just press the button and then you give power to your outlets, and then you can run, you know, that coffee pot and all of those electronic devices that you have that require 120. If you wanted to upgrade this PWM to an MPPT, we usually recommend Victrons, which is who we work with the most. And then also the current unit comes brand new with two 100 amp hour AGM batteries, and we could upgrade those to lithium. We have a good relationship with Lion Energy out of Utah. You know, lots of people like Battleborns. Lithium is just for sure the most superior product on the market right now. Now I want to talk about this Truma unit. You don't know who this is. They're a super reputable company worldwide. They're a European company, really known for being one of the best in the world. This is a propane combi eco. And now what that means is this actually duals as a double system. It does your furnace and your water heater. As the furnace unit, you just go to this little guy right here and you just turn on and you set your furnace to whatever temperature you want. You go over to your water heater and you click that on and you can get eco, hot, or you can boost, and that will just heat the water up a lot faster. As a furnace, it's gonna run a 7,500 BTUs all the way up to 14,300 BTUs. So it is a variable power consumption, and so the fans will adjust higher or lower depending on the heat it requires. On average, you're gonna consume about 1.6 amps per hour, which is phenomenal. If it's running at full max speed, it's gonna consume about 6.1 amps per hour, which is really, really amazing. These are awesome units, and you have lots of different functions in here that you can set: the fan speeds, the timers. There's lots of different settings you can go into here, and you can set the brightness on things too and give it nice lighting there. Turn that up so you can see that better. So you have a little picture of your furnace, your little RV for your furnace, and your little water thermometer for your water heaters. Moving over here, we have our breaker panels. You press that and then that pops up and you can check your breakers if you've lost power in your 120 or your AC. And then down here, we actually have our AC unit. Now this AC unit, it's an Australian company called Finch Australia, and it's an under cabinet mounted AC unit. It also has a heat pump. It's the HB 9000. Once again, it has variable speeds. You can go high all the way down to low, medium, and it can range at the highest functioning as a 9000 BTU AC unit. It's going to consume about 950 watts, which is really, really good. Here you'll just change your temperatures and your fan speeds. If you want to go to heat, you would go to this guy, and then that would adjust it to a heat pump, or you can go to AC, or you can turn it off. And this is ducted. It has 3 different ducts, 2 over by the bed, 1 underneath the table in the kitchen area, and then the furnace has 3 ducts also, 2 on each side of the bed and 1 in the kitchen area as well. So I really like this. I've been running this. It's like I said, it's been over 80 degrees, and I set this into the 60s, the high 60s, and it kept the trailer really, really cool. It was very nice. Here we are under the bed. I did mention earlier a little bit about the cabinetry. It's nice that they use all of these things to separate, compartmentalize the appliances under here. But I did want to mention the wood again. It is a UV coated plywood, and that's very important on the cabinetry, on all of the wood throughout the interior of the trailer. We've dealt with a lot of honeycomb and veneers. With the heat and the expansion of that honeycomb center and the veneers, they just delaminate. We've had lots of problems. Honestly, it's been a nightmare. It's very strong, it's very durable. You can screw into it because it actually has a core. And so it's very nice. It's gonna be a lot more durable long run. I mean, we've had people putting their knees on some of our other campers that use that honeycomb, and they poke a hole through it with their knee. Right here, you have these nice cross members, which are aluminum, and they feel strong, robust. You can look into this whole entire area and you can see everything is very organized. All the plumbing is organized. All the wiring is zip tied together and organized. They have rubber grommets going in between the floors, so the lines aren't rubbing on the wood or anything. Down under here, you're gonna see that we have the Renogy. This is that inverter system that I was talking to you about. It's also the charging system. So this will actually charge your batteries, and it will invert your batteries to 120 so you can run things off grid. I'm really happy because we've had other campers where, you just get a variation of products and nothing matches. I love that the Dweller, the manufacturer, has been very consistent with what they use. They've used the Renogy and inverter. They use the Renogy solar charge controller on top of the roof. We have 3 100-watt solar panels, and they're all by Renogy. Even the wiring going to them is Renogy wiring. So everything is very consistent, and usually the systems, when you're working with the same systems, it ends up running better. Here you have the Truma, everything's ducted. You have the 3 different ducts, and this is the Combi Eco, which runs your furnace and your hot water. Right here we have a C-Flow water pump. This is a 3 gallon per minute water pump. You have your strainer, and then you also have the accumulator tank, which is great that they install this. A lot of campers do not install this. It's not required by RVIA or code to install these, but we've had a lot of issues with campers with the pressurizing and not properly pressurizing, or if you have hot water in the line, it will pressurize with hot. The hot water cools down. Obviously the pressure will go down. So the pump will constantly be pulsating or turning on and off. This is a bladder, so essentially it takes the water, the extra water in there, and it holds it, and it will slowly feed it through the line, so you don't have that pulsating in that pump, which means your water pump is gonna last a lot longer. You're not gonna have that pulsating, and you're gonna have a constant continuous flow, which is really great when you're off grid. It's just gonna be more efficient. It's gonna run and operate better. And like I said, you don't see that in a lot of trailers. And I really, really am happy with the way the OBI manufacturer is putting things together. Everything in here looks really clean and neat. Under here, you can't see, but it's tucked away, is the AC unit, and it's very quiet. When it's running, you don't really even hear it. You hear the sound of the air blowing through the vents, but you don't actually hear the unit itself. A lot of AC units that are on the roof, they blow so loud, you can barely watch a movie while you're actually sitting in your trailer. So very cool. Also, when you take the AC unit off of the roof, you balance out the unit better. When you have things towards the ground, that's going to be better for an off-road environment, opposed to having wind drag and extra weight. Also, when you have more weight on the roof, you tend to have more balance issues and have more sway when you're towing. And these units tow very, very well. Hey everyone, thank you once again for watching this video. I know it was a long one, but hopefully it was very in-depth and detailed and you learned something. If I happen to miss something or I didn't explain something well enough for you, please make a comment below. We do read our comments and we will reply, and maybe we'll make a video for you specifically if it was something that needs more in-depth footage or more talking and information on it. But once again, thanks so much for watching. I'm super excited about this manufacturer, and the main reason why is because I don't just believe that they're a good quality product, but the company themselves, the people, the owners are really, really neat people. They have a lot of experience in business and how to make a good quality product. You know, they're inspired by that Australian Outback innovation, but bringing finally a company, an American owned company, to the US with a good camper. I'm super excited about that. And I think it's very, very important because the people that we work with, it's so important that they align with us in our values and truly focusing on the end user, not just a transaction, not just selling trailers, but actually caring about the people that own the trailers long term. That's very, very important to us here at RVs of America. If you're interested in one of these trailers, don't hesitate. Give us a call, 801-860-0035. You can text that number too if you want more information. If you want to get one of these and become a roamer and join our roamer adventures, we will be taking this specific unit actually down to Baja and putting about 2,000 miles on it in the next month. So I'm excited. We constantly are testing and using our products so that we can give you the best value and the best input and the best knowledge when it comes to using these products. So thank you once again for watching, and don't forget to subscribe, like, and share it with a friend. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you on an adventure soon. Bye-bye.